7, paragraph page 563. Last headword was cry, new word type of lesson. Okay, so let's start with your revision. Ready?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. What am I doing? What am I doing? You're shooting at the window.
You are shooting at the window.
Very good. What are the three forms of shoot? What are the three forms of shoot? The three forms of
The
shoot
three forms of shoot
are shoot, shot,
are
shot.
shoot, shot, shot.
Wait, have you ever seen anyone shot in real life? Have you ever seen anyone shot in real life? Yes or no?
No,
I've never seen anyone
I've never seen anyone
shot in
who
real life.
shot in their life.
Very good. Okay, what are the five senses? What are the five senses? The five senses
The five
are
senses
sight,
are sight,
hearing, taste,
hearing,
touch,
taste,
and smell.
touch, and smell.
If you had to do without one of those five senses, which would you choose? If you had to do without one of those five senses, which would you choose? If I had to do
If I had to
without
do
one
without one
those
of
five
five
senses,
senses,
I choose.
one of those five senses, I choose smell
Why? Why? Because
because some smell is not good.
very good. Tell me some of the sights one might see if one went to Japan. Tell me some of the sights one might see if one went to Japan. Some of the sights
Some of the
one
sight
might see
one might
if
see
one went to Japan
if one went to Japan
are
is Tokyo Tower,
Tokyo
Tokyo
Tower,
Skytree,
Mount
Mount Fuji,
Fuji,
etc.
etc. Very good. Okay. Is it brighter in your room than outside? Is it brighter in your room than outside? Yes or no?
No,
It isn't brighter in my
it
room
isn't brighter
than
in my room
outside. It's
than
darker.
outside. It's darker.
Right. Do you prefer bright colors or dark colors? Do you prefer bright colors or dark colors? I prefer
I prefer bright colors
to dark colors.
to dark colors.
Very good. Were you one of the brightest pupils in your class at mathematics? Were you one of the brightest pupils in your class at mathematics? Yes or no?
Yes,
I'm one
I'm one
of the brightest pupils
of the brightest
in
pupils
my class at
in my
mathematics.
class at mathematics.
Very good. Do you usually feel brighter in the evening than first thing in the morning? Do you usually feel brighter in the evening than first thing in the morning? Yes or no?
Yes,
I usually feel brighter
I usually feel brighter
in the evening than first
in the
thing
evening than first
in
thing
the morning.
in the morning.
Very good. What do we mean by a dull person? What do we mean by a dull person? By a dull person,
By a third
we
person,
mean a boring person.
we mean a boring person.
Right? What kind of job do you think is the dullest? What kind of job do you think is the dullest? I think
I think security guard
is the
is the
dullest.
dullest
Why? Why? Because
because they need to stand and watch.
very good every day. Okay. Was it a dull day yesterday? Was it a dull day yesterday? Yes or no?
No,
It wasn't a dull day
it wasn't a
yesterday.
dull day yesterday.
It was a bright sunny day.
It was a bright sunny day.
Very good. Do you spend a great deal of your time doing nothing? Do you spend a great deal of your time doing nothing? Yes or no?
Yes,
I spend a great
I
deal
spent
of my
a
time
great deal
doing
of my
nothing.
time doing nothing
Why? Why? Because
because I I have to I need to do many things.
very good. Okay, next. Do you think that the personal freedom of the individual is important, or do you think that the individual ought to be made to do the same things and live in the same way as other people? Do you think that the personal freedom of the individual is important, or do you think that the individual ought to be made to do the same things and live in the same way as other people? Yes or no?
Yes,
I think that
I
the
think that
personal freedom
Personal freedom
of the individual
of the individual
is important
is important
and should not be made
and should not be
to
made
do the same thing
to do the same
and
things
live in the same way
and live
in
in
the
the
same
same
way
way
as other people.
in the, as other people.
Very good. What do we mean by a fierce animal? What do we mean by a fierce animal? By a fierce animal,
By
we
a
mean
fierce animal,
a dangerous
we mean
and
a
wild animal
dangerous and wild
like a
animal,
lion or a tiger.
like a lion or tiger.
Very good. Make a sentence using the word nonetheless. Make sentence using the word nonetheless, please. I haven't got
I
very
haven't
much
got
money, but
very much money,
nonetheless,
but
I will
nonetheless,
go to the cinema this
I will
evening.
go to the cinema this evening.
What's another word for nonetheless? What's another word for nonetheless? Another word for
Another
nonetheless
word for
is
nonetheless
nevertheless.
is nevertheless.
Very good. Give me an example of the words had better. Give me an example of the words had better, please. I had better. Go now.
I had better
Go
go now
now. Or I'll miss my train.
or miss my train.
Right. What had we better do if we want to get high marks in an examination? What had we better do if we want to get high marks in an examination? We had better study
We
hard.
had better study
If
hard
we want to get
if we
high
want
marks
to get high
in
marks
an examination,
in an examinations.
what had you better do in order to avoid catching a cold? What had you better do in order to avoid catching a cold? I'd better look
I'd
after
better
myself
look after
by
myself
wearing thick, warm
by
clothes,
wearing thick warm clothes,
etc., in order
etc.,
to avoid
in order
catching a cold.
to avoid catching a cold.
But if you buy clothes and find out later that they don't fit you properly, what do you do? If you buy clothes and find out later that they don't fit you properly, what do you do? If I buy clothes
If I buy
and
clothes
find out later
and find out
that
later
they don't fit me
that they don't fit me
properly, I take them
properly,
back
I
and
take
try
them
to
back
change them.
and try to change them.
Very good. Would your front door key fit this door? Would your front door key fit this door? No. My front
No,
door key
my front door key
wouldn't fit that door.
wouldn't fit that door
Why not? Why not? Because my front door
because
keys
my front door
are
keys
different size.
are different
Right,
sides.
have you got any brothers or sisters? Have you got any brothers or sisters? Yes or no?
Yes,
I've got I've
uh,
got
I've got a brother and a sister.
very good. Do their clothes fit you? Do their clothes fit you? Yes or no?
No,
Their clothes
their clothes
don't fit me.
don't fit me
Why not? Why not? Because they take
because
a different
they take
size
a
from me.
different size from me.
Are you fit to teach English? Are you fit to teach English? Maybe I'm fit
Maybe
to
I'm
teach
fit
beginner level
to
English.
teach beginner level English.
Very good. What do we mean if we say something is fit for nothing? What do we mean if we say someone's fit for nothing? If we say someone's
If we say someone
fit for nothing,
fit for
we
nothing,
mean that
we mean
they
that
are not good enough
they are not good
to
enough
do anything.
to do anything.
What's the best way to keep fit? What's the best way to keep fit? The best way
The best
to keep
way
fit is to
to
do
keep fit
physical
is to
exercise
do physical
2 or
exercise
3 times a week.
2 or 3 times a week.
Very good. What does the idiom to feel down mean? What does the idiom to feel down mean? The idiom
The
to
idiom
feel down means
to feel down means
to feel unhappy.
to feel unhappy.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. I was feeling very down
I was feeling
that
very down
morning,
that morning,
but I felt much better
but I felt much better
when her letter arrived.
when her letter arrived.
Very good. How would you be able to identify yourself in the street if you were stopped by the police? How would you be able to identify yourself if you were stopped by the police? I'd be able
I'd be able
to identify
to identify
myself in the
myself
street
in the
if
street
I were stopped by the
if
police
I was stopped by the
by
police
showing them my
by
identity
showing
card,
them my
passport,
identity card,
etc.
passport, etc.
Right? Do you think it's possible for foreigners to learn English so well that people would think they were English? Do you think it's possible for foreigners to learn English so well that people would think they were English? Yes, I think
Yes, I think
it's possible for
it's
foreigners
possible
to
for
learn
foreigners
English so well
to learn English so
that
well
people would think
that people would
they
think
were English.
they were
But
English,
it happens very
but it
rarely.
happens very
It
rarely.
often depends
It often depends
on whether their own language
on whether their own
is
language
similar to English.
is similar to English.
Very good. What do you do in the evening when it's so cold that it'd be unpleasant to go out? What do you do in the evening when it's so cold that it'd be unpleasant to go out? In the evening,
In the
when
evening,
it's so cold
when it's so
that
cold
it'd be unpleasant
that it would be
to
unpleasant
go out,
to go out,
I
I watch TV.
am very good. Do I gather up my things from the table at the end of the lesson? Do I gather up my things at the end of the lesson? Yes, you gather up
Yes,
your
you
things
gather up
from the
your
table
things
at the end
from the
of the
table
lesson.
at the end of the lesson.
At what time of the year do farmers gather the fruit in your part of the world? At what time of year do farmers gather the fruit in your part of the world? Farmers gather
Farmers
the
gather
fruit
the fruit in autumn
in my part of the world.
in my part of the world.
Very good. When a man has been murdered, how do the police gather information about the murder? When a man has been murdered, how do the police gather information about the murder? When a man has been
When a
murdered,
man has been
the
murdered,
police gather
the
information
police gather
by
information
looking for clues
by looking for clues
and talking to people
and talking to
who
people
knew the man.
who knew the man.
On what occasions do all the members of the family gather together? On what occasions do all the members of the family gather together? All the members
All the
of the
members
family gather
of
together
the family gather
on
together
occasions
on
such
occasions
as weddings, birthday
such as
parties,
wedding,
etc.
birthday party, etc.
About how much does your book weigh? About how much does your book weigh? My book weighs about.
My book weighs about 100 grams.
Very good. What does it mean you can't have your cake and eat it? What does it mean you can't have your cake and eat it? The meaning of
The
you
meaning of
can't have your cake
you can't have
and
your
eat it
cake
is that
and eat it
sometimes
is that
you have to
sometimes
choose
you have to
between
choose
having one thing
between having one
or
thing
another thing
or another thing
because you cannot have
because you cannot have
everything you want.
everything you want.
Very good. Are you the kind of person who puts home comforts before everything else? Are you the kind of person who puts home comforts before everything else? Yes or no?
Yes,
I'm the kind of person
I'm the kind of
who
person
puts home comforts
who puts home comfort
before everything else.
before everything else
Why? Why? Because I can't live
because I
without
can't
my
live
comforts.
without my comfort.
Very good. What do you do when you want to relax? What do you do when you want to relax? When I want to
When
relax,
I want to relax,
I.
I go to cement.
Very good. Okay, next. If you could be in the audience of any concert, who would you like to see? If you could be in the audience at any concert, who would you like to see? If I could be
If I could
in the
be
audience at any
in the
concert,
audience
I'd
at
like to
any
see.
concert, I'd like to see Michael Jackson.
Very good. Okay, what's the most common way to move liquid or gas from one place to another? What's the most common way to move liquid or gas from one place to another? The most common way
The
to
most
move
common way
liquid or
to move
gas
liquid
from one
or gas
place to another
from one place
is
to
through
another
a pipe.
is through a pipe.
Can you see any pipes in your room? Can you see any pipes in your room? Yes or no? I
Yes,
can see some
I can
pipes
see
in my room.
some pipes in my room.
Do you know anyone who smokes a pipe? Do you know anyone who smokes a pipe? Yes or no?
Yes,
I know someone
I know
who
someone
smokes a pipe.
who smokes a pipe.
Very good. What's the use of a chimney? What's the use of a chimney? The use of a
The
chimney
use of the chimney
is to carry the smoke
is to carry smoke
from a fire
from a fire
out of a building
out of the building
and into the air.
and into the air.
Very good. Give me sentences showing the two meanings of the word cry. Give me sentences showing the two meanings of the word cry, please. The film was so sad
The film was so sad
that the girl cried
that the girl cried
the whole time.
the whole time.
Be careful how you cross the road. Okay? Be
Be
careful
careful
how you cross the
how
road.
you cross the road.
The child's mother cried.
The child's mother cried.
Very good. Okay. Next, that's the end of our revision. Very good. Let's have new work. Okay, so let's talk about present perfect or past simple. Okay,
Present perfect or past simple.
very good. Okay, listen. As we already know, the difference between the present perfect and the past simple is that we use the present perfect when we are thinking about time before and up to now, whereas we use the past simple when we are thinking about a specific past time. For example, I have been here for 20 minutes. I arrived here 20 minutes ago. Okay, so let's practice. What's the difference between the present perfect and the past simple? What's the difference between the present perfect and the past simple? The difference between
The difference
the
between
present perfect
the present
and the
perfect
past simple
and the
is
past
that
simple
we use the
is that
present
we use
perfect when
the
we are
present
thinking
perfect
about
when we are
time
thinking
before
about time
and up to now,
before or
whereas
up
we
to now,
use the past
whereas
simple
we use
when
the
we are
past simple
thinking
when we are
about a
thinking
specific pastime.
about a specific pastime.
Give me an example of each. Give me an example of each, please. I have been here
I have been
for 20
here
minutes.
for 20
I
minutes.
arrived here
I arrived here
20 minutes ago.
20 minutes ago.
Very good. Okay, now listen. Think about this sentence. I ate eggs for breakfast today. In sentence like this, some students make the mistake of saying I have eaten because they are using the word today. This is wrong. We say I ate eggs for breakfast today because, as the rule tells us, we are thinking about what happened at a specific pastime that was breakfast time. The fact that the word today is in the sentence changes nothing. We are not thinking about now. We are thinking about breakfast time, which is a specific pastime. Let's practice. Why do we say I ate eggs for breakfast today and not I have eaten eggs for breakfast today? Why do we say I ate eggs for breakfast today and not I have eaten eggs for breakfast today? We say I ate
We say,
eggs for breakfast
I
today
ate eggs for
and
breakfast
not
today,
I have eaten eggs
and not I have
for
eaten
breakfast
eggs
today
for breakfast
because
today
we are thinking about
because we are thinking
what
about
happened at a
what
specific
happened
pastime.
at a specific pastime.
Breakfast time. Breakfast time.
Breakfast time.
We are not thinking about now.
We are
not
not
thinking
thinking
about now.
about now.
Well, which of these sentences is correct? John got up quite late today, or John has got up quite late today? Which of those two sentences is correct? John got up quite late today, or John has got up quite late today? Of those two sentences,
Of those two
John
sentences,
got up quite late
John got
today
up
is correct.
quite late today is correct
Why? Why? Because we are thinking
because we are
what
thinking
happened at a specific
what happened
pastime,
at at,
at
at
a
a
specific
specific
pastime,
pastime
the time when
pastime
John got up.
the time when John got up.
Reggie, did you have a big breakfast today? Did you have a big breakfast today? Yes or no?
No,
I didn't have
I didn't
a
have
big breakfast today.
a big breakfast today.
What time did you come here today? What time did you come here today? I came here at
I came here at 8 a.m.
today.
today.
Very good. Okay, so next, let's have idiom number six. Let someone down. Okay,
Let someone down.
very good. Let someone down means to fail someone who is depending on us. For example, if you don't come tomorrow and help me, I will lose everything. So please don't let me down. Okay, so let's practice. What does the idiom let someone down mean? What does the idiom let someone down mean? The idiom let
Idiom.
someone down means
Let someone
fail
down means
someone who is
they or
depending on
someone
us.
who is depending on us.
Give me an example. Give me an example, please. Everyone was depending on
Everyone
him,
was depending on
but
him,
he let them down
but he let them
by
down
not keeping his promise.
by not keeping his promise.
Very good. Okay, so now let's move on to your reading. Okay, so reading is
Okay,
at stage 6, paragraph page 473. Last headword was matter. Okay, please start at page
four,
474. Uh-huh.
474.
Expect.
Expect. 74.
Hmm.
Expect.
Very good.
How long do you expect to continue living in the place where you live now? I expect to continue living in the place when I live now for about 10 years.
Hmm.
In the current method lesson, do you expect the teacher to correct the student's mistake? Yes, in the current method lesson, I expect I I
Expect
expect I expect
the teacher.
the teacher to correct the student's mistake.
Very good.
Tell question. Tell. Confirm. If somebody arrives home from work, when do we use the tell question? We use the tell question when we believe something is true and we want somebody to confirm that we are right.
Mhm.
How do we form a tell question? We form a tell question by repeating the first auxiliary verb for the main part of the sentence and putting it in question form. Give me an example, please. He is going to go out tonight, isn't he?
Very good.
So,
Okay.
and
Right now,
right now, I will say something and I want you to repeat it and add a tail question. Remember that if the main part of the sentence is positive, the tail question is negative and vice versa. He is a young man. He is a young man, isn't he? He isn't a young man. He isn't a young man, is he? You've got a very nice kitchen. You've got a very nice kitchen, haven't you? You haven't got a very nice kitchen. You haven't got a very nice kitchen, have you? You can sing. You can sing, can't you? You can't sing. You can't sing, can you? He'll be afraid. He'll be afraid, won't he? He won't be afraid. He won't be afraid, will he?
okay, very good. So we stop there for today, but very
Thank
good practice. Thank you very